Discord down.
Call the buzzer, call.
Take him back! Take him out!
I hope you die in prison as well. First up, we go to Stillwater, Oklahoma, where Judge Stephen Kiss was in the middle of a routine felony docket. In the jury box, 2 inmates wait to be called to the podium. Neither is a stranger to the courtroom. 30-year-old Craig Phillips' long and disturbing criminal history includes felony drug charges and 2 counts of indecent exposure that involved children. Today he's charged with larceny of copper materials from a commercial property. Next to him, 32-year-old Jonathan Goodman, whose rap sheet is long and violent. It contains previous convictions for assault with a dangerous weapon and domestic abuse. Now he's facing charges including possession of methamphetamine with intent to distribute. Watch as Goodman glances to his right, then unleashes. Watching again, it's unclear if any words are exchanged between the inmates. Either way, Phillips never sees it coming. After getting in a few more shots, the deputy grabs Goodman, drops him to the floor. Even though the assault was reportedly unprovoked, no additional charges were filed against Goodman. Both seasoned criminals go back to prison after being found guilty on their original charges.
Mr. California State, sir, can I have this, please, thank you.
Next, we go to the Wayne County Courthouse in Goldsboro, North Carolina. The defendant, 20-year-old Kenneth Stansel, is accused of killing Ronald Lane, his former boss at a college print shop. The one-time Boy Scout and now self-described white supremacist was fired by Lane for having too many absences. Stansel was caught and arrested in Daytona Beach, Florida, and shuttled back to North Carolina to face trial.
You've been charged with first-degree murder. Yes, sir. The maximum punishment for that charge is the death penalty. Yes, sir. Understand that? Yes, sir. Because you're charged with that crime, which carries that type of sentence, you have a right to a court-appointed lawyer. Like a lawyer can't afford one of what you want. Would you like a lawyer?
Stansel openly admits to shooting Lane, claiming his former problem, telling the judge how he feels.
I knew in my mind that I could get life, I could get a death penalty, you know what I'm saying? I knew that, you know what I'm saying? If you follow my top 8, I will kill you, you know what I'm saying? If you're a child molester, I'll put you in rapist.
This wasn't the first time Stansel made unsubstantiated allegations that his victim was a child molester, which he mumbled during a hearing in Florida.
Read it one last molester from the earth. That's my little brother. All right, that's all I got to say.
Back in North Carolina, Stensel's calmed down and returns to the court. But this time, his demeanor is noticeably different. At Stensel's trial, none of the allegations made about Lane were substantiated in any way. As for Kenneth Stansel, he was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole.
That's all. Take it back to the jail.
Next, we go to the Lake County Courthouse in Waukegan, Illinois. Travis Copeland's charged with disorderly conduct and aggravated battery of an officer. He's supposed to be standing before a judge for a bond violation hearing, but Copeland has other ideas. The 19-year-old has escaped the courtroom and is searching for an exit. He apparently doesn't like what he sees and heads back in the opposite direction. But this direction isn't any better. He's been spotted by the police. He better think fast. Looks like he's out of options. Or is he? He is. Copeland tries to bust through the window, not knowing It's bulletproof. Look at that again. He's in a skywalk surrounded by windows. If he wants to escape, that's probably his only chance. After his misfire, Copeland has no choice but to surrender. A team of armed officers arrive and secure the defendant. After his losing battle with an extra thick pane of glass, Copeland's taken back to court, where his original bond of $50,000 is bumped up to $1.5 million.
You're Jesse Coleman?
Take you inside the Washington County Courthouse in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. That's Carla Robinson and her stepdaughter, Jessie Coleman.
Actually, why don't you two both come stand right here, right in front of me? Why don't you stand right there? Why don't you stand right there? Okay.
The person whose voice you hear is Judge Russ Bayclaw.
Do you know why you're here today? Well, some things are worth the wait.
Oh, okay.
I received a letter yesterday about you.
I'm sorry.
The letter he's referring to was sent by Jessie's stepmother, and the reason for her appearance in court today.
I received a letter yesterday about you. You were not born 29 years ago, but that's when you got a mother.
That's true.
It's always amazing to me. Don't start, ladies. Don't start. Well, Miss Robinson, do you want to clue her in on what she's missing?
I've been planning this since the first of the year.
Carla raised Jessie since she was a child, and even though she's been divorced from Jessie's father since 2007, the women remain close. But now Carla wants to make their relationship official.
I think we give too much credit to biology sometimes. In other words, biology can make you a parent, but it doesn't give you that sacred title of mother or father.
Absolutely.
So for over 20 years, someone has been a mother to you. Even though you were not born to her, she treated you as if you were her child. And you treated her as if she was your mother. No matter how you cut it in every emotional sense, and to most appearances, she is your mother, and you are her daughter. But legally, that is not the case.
Yes, sir.
So I ask you again why you're here today.
Yes, sir.
On this day, the judge gets to use his power not to hand out a lengthy jail sentence, but to legalize a family bond.
Miss Coleman, I want you to raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Do you want Miss Robinson to adopt you?
Yes, sir.
To be her legally adopted daughter?
Yes, sir.
And it's my honor, though, as I said, I cannot create or order someone to love someone else or to even take care of them in a certain way. But I can order and make it known to everyone that legally, as of now, she is legally and formally your mother.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Love you ever.
Now to Jefferson County, Wisconsin, where 25-year-old Andrew Worth is being arraigned on 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. Witnesses say that inside this bar, an off-duty female police officer pinches Worth's backside, leading to an argument between Worth and the woman's boyfriend. A .38 caliber handgun killing the off-duty officer and her boyfriend. The parents of the female victim, as well as fellow officers, sit just a few feet behind the defendant in the courtroom. The judge has set Worth's bail at $1 million, and he is less than thrilled. Watch again as he seems to lunge toward the gallery. It's unclear if Worth was trying to reach the officer's parents or just lashing out. As officers wrestle to gain control, the defendant is tased and dragged out of the courtroom. Andrew Worth is later found guilty of 2 counts of homicide by negligent handling of a dangerous weapon, not first-degree murder, and sentenced to 10 years in prison. Jurors agreed to the lesser charge after considering Worth's claim that he acted in self-defense. Rapids, Michigan, where a pretrial hearing's underway for 26-year-old Jaleel Hoskins. Nearly a year earlier, police responded to a domestic disturbance between Hoskins and his girlfriend at their apartment. Audio from the visit was recorded on police dash camera video. The police visit is the last known record of the woman being alive. After an investigation, Hoskins is arrested and charged with open murder. At trial, the prosecution alleges that after strangling his girlfriend, Hoskins placed her body in a nearby dumpster. He maintained his innocence, but his defense is about to come apart thanks to testimony from his own cousin.
He told me after the domestic or whatever happened, I guess she went in the bathroom. I guess he was thinking about her.
Thinking about what?
But doing it.
Doing what?
Killing her. I guess he choked her or something.
Did you say you choked her?
Yes.
Hoskins eventually admits to the crime and accepts a plea deal for a lesser charge of second-degree murder. The emotional trial concludes at Hoskins' sentencing, where the victim's aunt shares her impact statement with the court.
First of all, I want you to stand there and look at me and quit standing there looking at the ceiling like a little coward. And I want to face you and I want to tell you exactly how I feel.
And 500 years in prison.
You have 42 days to appeal or remand it into the custody of the Department of Corrections for service of this sentence. Thank you, Mr. Hunter.
Watch again as Hoskins lashes out at the judge. As Hoskins is hauled out of the courtroom, deputies respond to a scuffle between members of his family and the victims. Hoskins' earliest possible date of release is in 2064. His request for an appeal was denied by the Michigan Supreme Court. Next, we go to Portland, Oregon, for a story we've been following closely here at Court Camp.
Free speech or die, Portland. You gotta stay place. This is America. Get out if you don't like free speech.
You may remember self-proclaimed white nationalist Jeremy Christian. He stabbed 3 men aboard Portland's MAX train in 2017, killing 2 of them. He was charged with 2 counts of aggravated murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Christian's violent rampage actually started the day before on the same exact train when he came across fellow passenger Demetria Hester.
He got on the train ranting how he is a neo-Nazi and do not have the right to even be on this train.
When Hester refused to back down, Christian threw a bottle at her, striking her in the face. Christian was not charged in that incident, but at a pretrial hearing in the murder case, Hester's called as a witness for the prosecution. Her testimony quickly sends the white supremacist into a fury.
For 2 years, this senseless hate crime that was delivered me in
Manufacturer. I'm the victim. You're on video next to me. Liar. 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 You're not the only black person on Max. Liar. Manufacturer hate crime. You liar. Yeah.
Christian's murder trial lasted 4 weeks, while much of Portland anxiously awaited a verdict. Finally, almost 3 years after the violent attack, the jury came back with a unanimous decision.
On count 1, the verdict is guilty. On count 2, murder first degree, was guilty.
But before Christian could be sentenced, the country was hit with the coronavirus.
He's still angry about the fact that I would not be intimidated by him.
This is America. Get out if you don't like free speech.
We're back in Portland, Oregon, in the ongoing saga of Jeremy Christian. Christian, a self-proclaimed white nationalist, stabbed and killed 2 people and attacked this woman, Demetria Hester, in separate attacks on Portland's MAX train in 2017. It's now June of 2020. Christian was brought back into the courtroom. this time with a new haircut, but the same bad attitude. As victims stepped up to give impact statements, Hester delivered a punishing verbal punch.
And when you die and go to hell, I hope you rot.
See you there.
Now, hey.
Go back to Tennessee,
No,
too.
what I tell
Go
you.
back to Tennessee, too.
You can.
We don't want you here. All your free state bull. You ain't gonna be there. You ain't gonna be there.
Jeremy Christian was sentenced to life in prison, and he'll have no chance for parole. Joining me now is Demetria Hester. Demetria, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate it. Boy, this has been a long haul. How are you feeling now that Jeremy Christian has finally been sentenced?
Well, after 3 years, it's bittersweet, I guess. I've been there the whole trial. Like, the 3 years, I've been the only one that's going to every court date. And I'm not going to stop. I wasn't going to stop because I wanted to see this through. I mean, our community has fallen apart and hasn't had time to heal from these things happening to us, and they're still happening. So it's not a real, sweet closure.
Now, Christian had attacked you verbally in court before at a pretrial hearing. Were you surprised he did it again?
Well, every time I went to court, he made it a point to salt me out and look at me and make sure that he had contact or said something to me.
Liar. Liar. You're not the only black person on that. Liar. Manufacturer hate crime. Liar. We don't want you here. All your free state bull. We ain't gonna be there.
I mean, I know I'm going to get a reaction out of him because he thinks it's me as the one that got away. He's still angry about the fact that I fought him back, that I would not be intimidated by him.
Well, now he's been sentenced to life in prison. What do you make of that?
He should have gotten the death penalty. He did it deliberately. He knew what he was doing. The police knew who he was. He's been a menace for his whole life. And they know exactly the hate that he spewed. Yes, he showed up that day looking like that, like this, Nazi haircut. So when he did like that, and it was some kind of symbol in his head, I was just like, now you're in there recruiting people to be what you want them to be, which is white supremacists. So you got what you wanted, but yet we are paying for this until he died. And that's why I was fighting so hard for the death penalty. When all the time you have no reason to hate, it's just something you want to do.
Demetria Hester, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. That's all for this edition of Court Cam. I'm Dan Abrams. Thanks for watching.